cop, why should you have the right to tote a gun around just because you have a badge?
You're saying we shouldn't be armed?
You shouldn't have guns at all.
Okay, next time there's an active shooter going into a university, then we're just gonna let him shoot all the students.
You know what? I can't do this. This episode no more.
Ooh-wee. This is a tough one. What's going on, y'all? Blue Falcon here, coming to you with another video. So thank you, Jubilee, for releasing this one. This is called Are All Cops Bastards? Police versus Criminals, Middle Ground. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this video is because, immediately, I can say that there might be some biases I may have. And I'm openly trying to admit that because unlike some people, I do not want to operate after preconceived notions or biases. So I wanted to watch this just to see if maybe I can actually, learn something or two and see what's the mindset of some of these police officers. Because obviously, with issues like George Floyd and all these other instances where, it may seem like police brutality is crazy here in America, I do believe also that a lot of times they only choose certain select videos to show the public to try to create this tension in America and create this divide. So again, I wanted to actually work against my own preconceived notions, but please let me know in the comments down below what you guys think as you're watching this. With that being said, let's just get right into it.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Cops should not carry guns.
I mean, there are so many countries in this world that do not have this level of violence within its law enforcement department or any other department. Guns themselves are not the issue. It's the finger behind the gun, because you don't know the mentality, the mind, the heart of the person, and things trigger people and they snap.
I think what this individual has started off saying is absolutely right. As someone who, born in New York, where you cannot own no firearms whatsoever, and if you can, you gotta jump through a lot of hoops and loops in order to actually own one. But, I grew up with a mindset like, guns is all evil, oh, guns are so evil. And one thing that I learned, now that I've moved out of that blue state called New York and have moved to Tennessee, my mindset on guns has totally changed. And why is that? Because when you train on how to use a firearm, you come to realize that it is absolutely the individual behind the weapon, is the individual that wields the weapon that ultimately will decide what that weapon does. I've never seen a gun float in the air by itself and the trigger just starts to pull. I mean, I've never, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but seriously, it has never happened. So again, it's the people that are behind these firearms that's causing these quote unquote mass shootings and all this other chaos that's going on. But let me know what y'all think.
And no one exempt. Police officers are human beings too. They can snap.
If you took guns away from the uniform, I guarantee you, like, half of them would not be there working.
No, it's the power.
If you had to struggle to submit a perpetrator and to, like, actually do work, police work, like, it's not just about reaching for your gun 99% of the time. Yeah. So it's like if the gun wasn't part of the uniform, a lot of them wouldn't take that enabling role that they want to take as officers.
Right in front of my building, I was harmed by an older man. When I got away, I went to the police. The detective took me to the hospital, everything, checked me out. You know what the police officer did, having a gun and everything else? Pulled me over, saying he was taking me back home, pulled me over on a dark side, of a street and raped me.
What? You see, these are the things, right? Now, oh man, this is very tough, extremely tough, because to one extent, women have, especially with the Me Too movement, rape is something that women, it's kind of like their go-to. No one can actually verify. But what makes it so dicey is that you never want to be the person that actually says, you didn't, I don't want to deny someone who claims that they actually have been raped. Am I making sense here? Because that's extremely insensitive. But what's my point? My point is this, right? If this woman is telling the truth, if she is actually telling the truth, what makes it so despicable is that to some degree, I actually agree with that man who said that if the gun was not a part of the uniform, there would be a lot of people who would not dare ever try to become police officers, especially not for $50,000 a year? No. There's so many other jobs where you don't have to risk your life, where you can make a lot more. But again, there is a sense of that power that people have when they can wield that gun, especially, as they mentioned, they are human too. You don't know if they've been bullied in times past, so now they want to take out their aggression out on the public and feel like they're empowered because they have this badge. It's really hard to say. But again, I don't want to go based off of preconceived notions and my biases, so I want to continue. But if she actually got raped by a police officer, this is the kind of stuff that, again, how can you expect people that should be protecting the civilians do such a heinous act and then expect us as the people to actually want to cooperate with the police? It is real tough.
Because of the uniform, the badge, and the gun that made me freeze. But you, as a police officer, saying that you were here to protect and to serve, you allowed your power, your uniform, your gun, everything else to make you think that that was okay. And this happens a lot. It happens a lot.
They want to abuse other people. They want to, tyrants over other people, so they choose jobs like that. Like, what? If you want to help other people, why can't you go be a humanitarian? There's oceans to clean up. Instead, like, everybody just wants to be out here taking rights away from others and abusing people and getting guns. And the moment you start copying an attitude, literally click. Let's go.
But I don't want to do that to them as they do it to us.
Can the disagreeer step forward?
If someone else has a gun, you gotta defend yourself too, just the way you use it. I'm not saying that you should use guns, but if you have a gun, then you have to use it, of course, but not use it just for traffic stops or people with mental illnesses, stuff like that. That's out. If they have a knife or a stick or a fork, like that doesn't justify anybody getting shot.
So you're for having armed police officers?
Yeah, if someone else has a gun,
Yeah.
if someone else.
I believe that y'all should be armed because
What he's saying is absolute facts. Some of the stuff that people have come to get shot over, it has been totally ridiculous. Like, people pull out a hairbrush. And it's always so crazy because the report is, we thought that they were pulling out a gun. What hairbrush looks like a gun? You let me know. What comb looks like a gun? How you pull out a pack of Skittles, it looks like a gun. You see, so these are the kind of things where it's just like, again, when you have so many, and I'm not saying it's all, you see, again, that's the problem with the media. This is what the media chooses to show. And I believe they do that because we, the people, are a bunch of sheep that mindless sheep that don't have no ability to actually think and use self-autonomy. Again, most police officers do not engage in such heinous activity. But the few that actually do, they're the ones that's put up in the media, and you have all these eyes, people who's watching the news, and when they see these things, of course there's that tension. It's like you hear what I'm saying? You go, you get pulled over by a police officer, and then all of a sudden you kind of nervous because you've seen all the stuff that's going on in the news, and then all of a sudden the police officers are asking you, why are you so nervous? Why are you so nervous? You got any drugs in the car? And you probably don't even have anything in the car. You probably didn't do anything wrong. They just pulled you over. But because you're so tense, because of everything that you've seen on TV, now they suspect you, and now they pull out a gun. For what reason? You didn't do a damn thing. But you see, and again, this is exactly what goes on. But you get pulled over, they pull out guns on you for the craziest things. And this is the kind of stuff, I'm actually glad shows like this exist, because I really do want to understand the mindset of some of these police officers. I really do.
Because I believe in the Constitution. I don't believe in the policing that the police force has done throughout many communities I've been in, but I do believe in rights versus laws, and I do believe that there are dangerous scenes that you go to where it is required to use them. So I have to agree that part of your, like he said, his tool belt needs to include a pistol.
Okay, good, because I was about to challenge you both and say, okay, so you mean to tell me that what happened at Michigan State University with an active shooter killing 5 students, or Ubaldi, where they went into an elementary school and killed children?
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, what happened over 10 years ago. You're sitting there telling us that we shouldn't be carrying firearms?
Yeah, you shouldn't. Like, if you guys are just traffic cops and stuff like that, you guys shouldn't.
No,
if you guys are like a SWAT team.
Yeah, you're not answering my question.
Like I said, I'm just going based on what you said. You called me a predator. I'm like, I never done that in my life, right? I've been in situations where I've been shot at. I had 2 members of my department die in the last 2 months. I've been in situations
and killed children.
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, what happened over 10 years ago. You're sitting there telling us that we shouldn't be carrying firearms?
Yeah, you shouldn't. Like, if you guys are just traffic cops and stuff like that, you guys shouldn't.
No,
if you guys are like a SWAT team.
Yeah, you're not answering my question.
Like I said, I'm just going based on what you said. You called me a predator. I'm like, I never done that in my life, right? I've been in situations where I've been shot at. I had 2 members of my department die in the last 2 months. I've been in situations where I've needed my firearm. I've needed every tool in my belt in my career. If you would go out and then see half of the stuff I see, you may change your perception about what you see. It's dangerous.
So you can't call for backup?
You see, and now this is where, if you're actually a police officer, or if you, I'll just say this. This is what I wanted to actually hear. I wanted to hear this exact mindset, because again, for a majority of the people who are not police officers, I am not. When you hear things like this, it is very insensitive of you to actually think you understand the stress that police officers go through on a daily basis. I mean, these people, they go out every day knowing that they might not, depending on where, in what department they work in, but they go out there working every day knowing they may not come back home to their loved ones. Think about that. And you can, yeah, some of you probably gonna be like, "Oh, Blue Falcon, that's everybody's job." Duh. No, it's not. No, it's not. All right, let's just keep it a buck. All right. Can it happen to everybody? Yeah, but why do everybody always go for the outliers? Right? Let's just keep it a buck. A teacher's job is not as hectic as a police officer's job. It's not as dangerous as a police officer's job. Librarian's job is not as dangerous as a police officer's job. You get what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a buck. These people have to, any given moment, you get what I'm saying, right on the dime. Oh, we need you. We got this this scene in Bruin at this street, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how they talk. You get what I'm saying? But you know what I'm talking about, right? They get the call, this is what's going on at this street, and we need you to go there to cool things down. And a lot of times police officers may very well try to talk things down. They might try to, de-escalate. I think that's the term, de-escalate. So they might use their words, but sometimes people are so belligerent, they're so ignorant that they're not even trying to cooperate. And then what do you do then? Because let's keep it a buck again. Everybody wants to make it home. everybody wants to make it home. So at that point in time, I don't blame. Like if I was a police officer, shoot, and it's either you or me, and someone got to make it back home that night. And I have my wife, I have my child, I have my loved ones, I got friends, families. Hey, I'm gonna choose me all day. Absolutely, I'm gonna choose me all day. And I don't want to hear, oh, that's selfish. No. Everybody that has a brain will do the same thing. Nobody's volunteering for you to just get shot and killed. Oh yeah, I don't want to see my family. I don't want to see my family anymore. Just kill me. Nah, that's not logical.
What does me calling for backup have to do with
So
this?
if you work county, okay, say in my area.
I'm a county cop.
Right, and in my area, I mean, you have miles and miles of nothing around you. Your closest partner is maybe if you're lucky, 20 minutes away. Okay. In the meantime, I've got somebody that has me at gunpoint, and if I don't have a gun on my hip, I'm dead. I am a dead man walking because I have nothing that can go up against another gun.
But how do you think felons feel?
There's tasers, pepper balls, like...
Societal issues are not on the police. Like, I'm not stripping you of your rights, right? That is not, you can vote. I don't give a shit. You can vote. You can carry a gun. You can do all that. That is not my job in life. My job is, you've been accused of a crime. I got to take you to jail because this, and that, and the third. I'm done.
You're saying that we should have pepper spray, tasers to Michigan State University or Uvalde? Is that what you're saying? So you're telling me that if I'm a cop, I have no gun?
But also, this,
well, he said to the community, like maybe
No, that's not what he said. The prompt is, should cops be unarmed? Hold on a second. You just got done watching probably the most tragic incidents probably historically. Uvalde, may I add. That's kids, for crying out loud. And what you're sitting here saying is that we shouldn't be unarmed. What would you like me to do if someone has an AK-47 killing kids? That's my question to you.
We actually have our own rights. You know, that we actually have our own rights to carry and defend ourselves in certain situations like that.
You know, with all due respect, that's not the question I'm asking.
But if you want to use your body...
I'm asking you if you were, okay, I'll ask in a different way. If you're a police officer and you have no firearms, you got your pepper spray, you have your taser, you have your baton, and you are responding to Uvalde Elementary School where there's an active shooter with an AK-47, what are you going to do?
I would say that I would call for backup to the proper authorities that would be entitled to have those weapons that are not in the general community.
I get what he's saying.
No, but what entitled to have weapons? Who? What agency?
So like the UK.
And above,
yeah,
know,
what he's saying. It's like United Kingdom. How United Kingdom, their special force in their police department have weapons, but they're regular cops.
So why should you just why should you have the ability to just tote around a gun? That's my question to you.
What's that?
My question to you is, just because you're a cop, why should you have the right to tote a gun around just because you have a badge?
No. That's not what the prompt is. The prompt is cops being unarmed, cops being all of us.
But you used your body, and your body, they took like over an hour to respond when they were there. So you had the guns and you still didn't.
What I'm saying is that he's saying cops. Cops is a very, when you say cops to me, you're talking everybody. Every single cop, okay? And you're saying we shouldn't be unarmed. Okay.
You shouldn't have guns at all.
Okay, so you know what? Next time there's a big active shooter going into a university, then I guess we're just gonna let him shoot all the students.
So I have a question for you.
Hey, you see, these are the kind of stuff that, you know, I mean, that cop made him look kind of foolish right there. I mean, think about it. I mean, ain't nobody, like I said, we all human, and we all have some level of self-preservation. I don't know anybody who's gonna put their life on the line and try to protect you. You know you're going into a situation where the criminals have firearms, and you think you're finna go in there and fight with what? A baton? With pepper spray? No, that ain't gonna work. I'm letting you guys know that right now. That ain't gonna work, and no logical person finna go up in there and try to defend. Yeah, I get it. We all love the kids. We all love children. But nah, especially if I have my own children back home, if I'm not properly armed, I ain't going in there. I mean, period, point blank. And I understand where the cop is coming from. So, yeah, I mean, but I do believe there is a play on semantics here. You get what I'm saying? Because he's really focused on that word cops. And so he's just, trying to bunch all the cops, and the convict is trying to be like, well, you should go maybe the upper tier cops, SWAT and all things of that sort. Maybe they should be the ones that have the actual guns, while the regular patrol or whatever the case may be, they shouldn't have guns. It's kind of tough. And let me just address this too, because one of the people mentioned that you have rights, right? Like we all, as the common people, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Now, that actually still goes against against common sense, because if we have the rights to bear arms, so now you want everybody to bear arms. Like let's say in Tennessee, for example, where we have the ability to actually carry arms, open carry, right? So if everybody has guns, now you're gonna have cops that don't have guns. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's not logical.
So, all those countries that don't have their police officers carrying guns.
Not many, just so you know.
Oh, I know very well. That's the work that I do.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. That bald-headed cop, he's a little bit on the edge, So he's a little bit on the edge. So I think he does need to calm down just a bit and stop assuming so much. But that was a good comeback from that woman.
To see that. But what I'm saying is that, have you ever thought about how those countries respond to those situations? And can we do the same?
We absolutely could not do the same, because we have criminals here, and I'm not speaking of y'all, but there are people here that still carry regardless of if it's against the law. If you were to take guns away from illegals, criminals, people that are not from here, I would 100% agree that officers don't need guns, and that we could go.
Because I think the mass shooters are not the ones, the immigrants, and the taking it all away.
No, and that's what I'm just giving examples.
Yeah, but
I'm just giving examples.
She's right. I mean,
Yeah,
so the mass shooting and all that is
A constitutional right to bear arms, right, allows
It's a right.
everybody in this country to bear arms. Well, not
Which is
everybody,
rare.
not everybody. Let me be specific. If you're a law-abiding citizen to carry guns, the amount of guns that we have in America, doesn't it outweigh the people that we have? Hey, these countries, they don't have a Second Amendment. They don't have a constitutional right to bear arms. So it's a lot easier to say, you know what? Y'all can't bear arms, so y'all can't bear arms. In this country, we can. So I'm just being, like I said, everything's anecdotal. I've been in situations where I needed my gun, and you were absolutely right. Would I do the job without one? Hell no, because I've been in situations where I needed one, and you know what? I had it. It's equal force. I'm being shot at, I'm about to shoot back. Not just, hey, I have a gun on my hip, I'm just about to, you know what, guns. That's not how I do my job.
And the thing that popped right from that prompt is just active shooter. That's.
And it's not even
To your
it's not
question,
even
to your
active
question,
shooter.
you know
It's
what?
just being
I haven't
shot
done-
at by itself. In
I
and of
haven't done
itself.
the research, or I don't know if there's any empirical data to know exactly in other countries how they respond to someone who has an AK-47 that goes into a building and starts killing people, and yet we're a police force that doesn't have any firearms. I don't know.
They have
I would have to
special
do the
units for it.
research.
They do have special units for it. They're just not out on the street where you see them all the time, 24/7.
Okay.
But you said something, and I want to bring that up. Hold on one sec. You said something. You said that the people with the guns are oftentimes criminals or, people like that. And I want to say that those mass shootings that happen in our country are from people that pass a whole tons of background checks and are law-abiding, to your point, and all these things, and all of a sudden, and that was my point earlier about when people snap or whatever might happen, and we have to be clear in identifying that, because we get labeled like we're the ones doing all these mass shootings, all these things, these horrible, egregious things, and 96% of the time,
Yes.
it is not
Right.
a person that was formerly incarcerated.
And to your
or had
point, we get
so
labeled.
let's be clear on that point.
Right, and then we get
Yeah.
labeled as killers.
Right.
I think I've
That's what I'm
heard
saying. So-
agents of racial genocide is what we've been labeled before.
Ooh, man, to avoid this video getting too long, I highly recommend that you guys do watch the entire video. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below. But please let me know what are your thoughts on this, because I really would like to actually hear from you all. But let me just finish off and land the plane on this, which is that, You know, what this woman said is absolutely right. There are so many people I know. Well, okay, I don't know them, you get what I'm saying? Let's slow down. But I mean, people that we've heard in the media, right? I'll give you a perfect example. I think it was at the end of 2022, we've heard about some Twitch streamer. He was in upstate New York. I think it was upstate New York. And he goes around literally filming himself like it's Call of Duty. And he goes into some, convenience store and shoots up 3 people, and he's filming it like in first person, literally like it's Call of Duty, like it's a video game for him. How he got his hands on, especially in New York, how in the world he got his hands on a gun, who knows, right? But again, this is what that woman is saying. I mean, he must have passed the background checks, right? He must have had like a clean record. He must have did all of those things. But one day, these people just snap. Yeah, you see, and this is why this argument here, I think it's actually quite foolish. I think a lot of things would be remedied. This is me personally. I think a lot of this stuff would be remedied personally if we just follow the Constitution and everybody has the ability to bear arms. I mean, you know what's so interesting? Let me just give you just some facts here, where it's just in states, these blue states like California, New York, do you know whenever there's these shootings, do you know on average way more people die in those states than states such as, let's say, red states like Tennessee, Indiana? And you know why that is? Let me tell you why that is. The reason why is, logically speaking, if you enter a room, and let's say I'm going to use myself, right? Let's say I'm the only person that has a gun and everybody else is a soft target, meaning that they don't have no weapons to defend themselves. Of course, if I was an insane, delusional, fool, of course I can, in theory, try to oppose my will on all these innocent people, right? Because I'm the only one with the firearm. But do you know what's so interesting? If everybody is on equal playing field, if everybody has a gun, do you know what the same scenario? I enter a room and everybody else also has a firearm. Do you know what I'm automatically thinking? Maybe I shouldn't be so quick to try to impose my will on these people. Because if I know every single one of these individuals also have guns, yeah, I may be able to get one off, but I'm going to be met with a whole lot of resistance coming back at my way. You get what I'm saying? And truth be told, it's literally the bully mindset. Bullies, on average, do not even attempt to fight people that they know 100% are willing and able to fight back and actually have a great opportunity to whip their ass. And bullies don't do that. Anyway, I think you guys get the point. I really would like to hear from you guys, though. What did you think about this? Me personally, I think this was well done. As always, Jubilee does a very good job. But I would like to hear your comments down below. I mean, should cops have the right to bear arms? Or do you think you agree with the ex-convicts where some of them probably should not be able to bear arms? Also, should there be a higher level of regulation in terms of maybe a background check isn't enough? What do you guys think? I'm curious. Put your comments down below. With that being said, if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and please share, because it does help the channel out a lot. With that being said, Blue Falcon over right now. Jesus is king, y'all.
Game to win. Game hard.